everybody, coming to you live from Kenny's basement apartment, where we are trying to figure out a way to market pond water aquariums. It's Sports Allegedly.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Sports
82.
82 on this
Episode
April...
Because I don't count the drafts.
April 29th.
Those are our specials.
April 29th, 2024.
Okay,
so thanks for joining us.
Of our Lord.
Yeah, of our Lord. No, we just we have a lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, we had a full rundown of the draft just 3 days ago. If you didn't get to hear, join us on that podcast we did Thursday on the draft. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Okay, well, we can no longer. I meant to do a post.
It's a lot of.
We can no longer do Facebook because of their rules.
We're going to change the rules, so keep listening. Maybe we can get.
No, I post the videos there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people could watch the video after.
Just can't.
You can't do it
stream
live.
Okay.
Yeah, they want you to do it on your phone because, that whole TikTok is going away.
Gotcha.
So their whole thing is, oh, by the way, you can go live on mobile, and I'm like, what? I don't do a mobile podcast. We do a sit down talkie talk.
Well, we did a lot of talkie talk.
We did
on Thursday.
Oh, you know what? I got to talk about Mel Kiper's grading system.
We're gonna talk a lot about the draft at the end. I think that's what we're gonna close the show with. Right now, we'll talk a little bit. We'll open the show with some local sports and what's going on there.
UFL.
Talk a little bit about UFL local sports.
College softball, baseball is winding down.
That's correct. So, Sean, lead into whatever you want to
say. All right. So, here's a couple things. One, I miss Creston, and I hope that he eventually comes back.
He'll be back soon.
Really? Have you talked to him?
No.
I have not talked. I do miss him.
He'll be in. He's got outdoor minutes. Got to be popping this summer.
Well, right. So my niece, my great niece, she shot a 17-pound turkey with a crossbow.
Is that a 17-pound turkey big? I don't know. Are those big?
Would
that be considered a big turkey?
What do you typically buy in the grocery store? Like a 10-pound turkey?
I don't know. I usually buy the smaller ones.
Oh, right. Yeah, 9 pounds.
People are becoming anti-turkey eaters.
Right. Well, she went
turkey again.
She went
it's
with
like
her
2 times a year
with
we
her
eat turkey.
grandmother, my sister, and my sister's new. God, whatever. She has so many weird men. So Johnny, they went and got a 17-pound turkey. I've been fishing.
His name's Johnny.
Yeah.
Does your sisters find men that have names?
Don't.
Okay,
don't.
They find family names.
Let's see. The twins. Those are mine. Alicia and Ashley. There was Darren, and then Mallory.
Is she married to a Darren?
No, she's married to a Sean. Okay. Alicia is.
Oh, see? Just proves my point. It's like everyone finds men that have the same names as their
And if I
family.
remember correctly, Ashley's baby daddy is also a Sean.
Well, we know there's a Larry from your sister who's also the
Dust,
father.
yes.
Yeah.
And then,
cool family, guys.
Yeah,
it could be an own podcast. Let me tell you.
Me? No, I don't go with anybody that's got the same name as anybody in my family.
Oh, but eventually there'll be one, and we'll never let you down. Be like, oh, what was your name, ma'am? Did you say what? What was your name?
Dusty?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
No. Kenny? Oh, I love you. Your monkey hands. So I learned.
Turkey talk.
Yeah, turkey talk.
Okay.
I went fishing. You want to do like a little outdoors?
Sure,
I went fishing last week before we did the draft. Few bites, caught nothing. It was just, because the way my work schedule. So I still wake up late. So we go out late. Right now we went out lightning. Few bites, nothing hit.
Well, you're not doing it right. I hear they've been biting like a whodunit.
I know, and we just can't figure out where because, one, we don't have a boat. I know a lot of people are doing boat fishing.
a lot of boat fishing.
Yeah. George and Tina, they've
did
theirs.
A lot of boat fishing.
Have they been doing boat?
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not doing boat. We're doing shore fishing, and we're just not.
Surely you probably should think about getting a boat.
Don't ever call me Shorely. We do. East Side Ram, everything's just kind of dead around the shore. If you go up around East Side down to there's a flat with a drop. You can catch there, but the problem is that you'll get hung up coming back in. So and we tried a couple places, but nothing's really popping off for us on shore fishing. So we wanted the rocks, but the rocks aren't open because they're doing the highway still.
Oh, and Oologah is a mess right now with all the debris coming in from the storms.
Right.
North side of Oologah Lake is got.
Oh, really? Is it
bad.
Just stuff all in it?
All kinds of limbs, big tree trunk. Yeah, it's a bunch.
So that would be our outdoorsy.
I worked outdoors this week.
Ladies and gentlemen, it got hot. It rained. It got hot, and Kenny had to go do that. I drove Sunday by your warehouse, and I was like, and Saturday too, and I was like, oh, I bet Kenny is just hating this and just wondering when will this end?
Well, I had to come home early it was storms. Hey,
I figured you did.
And
I figured you went loaded in the morning.
Shout out to the people that are cleaning up, the first responders.
Okay, let's jump to Kenny got robbed apparently this morning.
I did.
14 cases. And he does Little Debbie's. So
yeah, if anybody didn't know that I have a Little Debbie route on the side, it's kind of my moneymaker. And
so you gotta wonder what these people thought when they broke into his warehouse, because he's there all the time.
Pissed.
Was it the small one or the big one?
Small one.
Okay, so he's there all the time, and he's always got his trailer backed up to it. Mm-hmm. But he's always just pulling boxes, right? Throwing, broke down boxes in, pulling boxes out.
Definitely not local.
If you're not paying attention, then you just think, oh, well, this guy's moving merchandise. Well, that thing kicked on.
Yeah.
And so I would have to wonder what anybody thought whenever they got in there. They were like,
pissed.
What do we do?
Pissed.
Just grab everything. Just grab what you can. What is the street value of Swiss roll?
I have no idea. But apparently they thought it was pretty good because they grabbed 14 cases.
Yeah, and you said that they got a new product, the apple donuts.
Yeah, if you haven't tried the apple cinnamon donut sticks, that's a new thing that's hitting the market right now. But no, it's just that was how my morning went, and it kind of.
Don't worry, the 14 cases were recovered.
It was recovered. I'm kind of going back to actual sports. It kind of seems like the Renegades. You talk about UFL. Football, the
Renegades just can't win.
They just can. I mean, they lost another close one to San Antonio. Bob Stoops, you said teams now 0-5. We got that listed. And then the Birmingham's down. Now that's my team, so I look like I'm already out of the playoff picture.
Yeah, because unless something happens, so one, they got to go on a win streak. They have to win out every game, and two, you've got to have something happen to St. Louis, and.
So too much to talk about. Just not going to happen.
But for me, my Birmingham Stallions just took the Roughnecks to task, and 32-9. You've got you got Matt Corral, and you got Adrian Martinez as your quarterback.
What is
Skip Holtz? Skip Holtz is
talking about Birmingham, right?
Yeah, Skip Holtz is on a 12-13.
So I mean, is this? And it kind of makes you wonder: is Skip Holtz?
And he won.
Is he just aged out of coaching again, or I mean, is this?
I don't know if.
Because it seems like all these guys are retired and kind of just having fun.
Well, Wade Phillips is the coach of the Brahmas.
Well, of course. I mean, he's never going back into big.
No, he's never.
I mean, he's 112.
Skip for me, I don't know about Skip. Skip seems like he could end up as a coordinator back in the NFL. But he never went to the NFL, did he? He stayed in college.
He might have. I don't know. He's always a college guy. But, I mean, of course, college.
But he was under his dad for a long time.
College nowadays is a night and day, so I can see why they're not wanting to do any of that shit.
But he has been coaching these guys, and he had Alex Magoo, who is now the backup in Green Bay. He had him for 2 seasons when the USFL was still around. And they won both of those seasons. So and he's now a backup for Jordan Love.
So recap on the standings right now: Birmingham Stallions 5-0, Michigan Panthers 3-2, Houston is 1-4, and so is Memphis. That's on the USFL side of the UFL divisions, and then obviously on the XFL side you have the Battlehawks 4-1 and the Brahmas
and the Battlehawks. I want to say that I did read this. I know the Beer Snakes are back in the UFL, and I want to say they broke the record for the longest beer snake in DC.
Wow!
So as you start at the bottom, and then you pass it. You just pass it around,
DC
and pass it up,
Defenders
and everybody puts their empty
lost.
cups.
Looks like I mean, it looks like the top 2 teams are going to be in each one. I mean, it's not.
So one thing about the Battlehawks is AJ McCarron kind of splits time. Cincinnati still calls him up when they need him. So
generally they need him a lot with their quarterback.
Well, and they called him up last season, and it was weird because they changed.
We're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, Cincinnati Bengals. So he still is kind of right there with the NFL. And then, of course, you got Matt Corral. Like I said, you got Matt Corral. A lot of these guys. I'm surprised Luis Perez hasn't been called up. He's the leading quarterback in the UFL. He didn't do horrible last season in the XFL. So, and this is good. The UFL, the Spring League, is actually really good for development. Right now, the Battlehawks have, I think, is it Hakeem Butler? Receiver, tight end.
It's Butler with McCarron's a quarterback. What team that is? I just think that.
It's Butler.
Right.
I don't want to say Malcolm Butler.
It's Hakeem, I think.
I think it's Hakeem Butler.
Is that one of the guys? I mean, that's what
he is, the leading receiver. And I forgot his story. I know that he it's Hakeem Butler. So he went to the NFL for, I want to say, 2 seasons maybe. But this guy's tearing it up. Look at him, 147 yards.
Yeah, it looks like he was with the Steelers.
How long was he there?
Just 1 season.
Just one? Didn't work out? Guy's tearing it up.
He's Iowa State guy.
Yeah, but the guy's tearing it up right now. Like he's 147 yards, 9 targets.
I'm sorry, he was with the Eagles. Eagles first season.
Okay.
2 games played.
His yak is 75, so he's getting free every time that he's catching the ball. So he's definitely gonna get a invitation to one of the teams. So the other thing is, I also learned streaming. So I was watching the Renegades Brahmas game.
Is anybody watching these games?
They are. Before you
I'm
start
not being
spouting
negative.
on. No, they are.
Okay.
They're keeping their viewership.
Because I was draft heavy this weekend.
So they even talked about it. They said, we started out at a bad time with March Madness, and then going into the draft.
I don't understand why they're doing that. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, now is when you start.
They said that they have.
But I wouldn't even start now.
They've kept that viewership, and it's still kind of going.
I mean, these second tier.
So I was watching that Brahma, and of course we had the Storms, and so James Adelot came in with his special team, and they were going over because Kansas, at this point it was all in Kansas, and they
23, I guess.
Yeah. So they were like, well, it's all here. And I got to say that, having the sports app on your phone to be able to stream from that, you don't get interrupted by
Oh, really?
You don't get interrupted by storms. Because in Oklahoma, if anybody doesn't really know, we have spring and fall storm season.
We get a lot of storms.
Spring and fall storm season, and a lot of our sports gets cut off.
That's correct.
To watch our weathermen, because I think that's another sport of ours, is watching meteorologists.
Hell yes. I sported till 2 a.m. the other night.
I had to hear my mom and Mary talk about, it's bad. It's okay if Travis Myers keeps his jacket on. It's starting to get rough if he takes it off, and it's really bad when he rolls up his sleeves.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, it's a sport of ours.
Yes, it is.
So that's all I got for UFL.
Thank God we've lost all of our listeners, because that bored the shit out of them. But anyway.
Oh, you want to read some stats there, Stat Hammer?
I think that these, like I said, these second tier leagues, WNBA, the UFL. And they should be starting on the off times to actually be in there to set.
The weird thing about WNBA is they just did the draft, and then their camp is a month?
Oh
long?
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
Their camp is a month long, and they're
the
season.
UFL should be starting they should be starting training camp right now, and then play through June and July. And if you have to get to those teams that have, I mean, maybe they're looking at the weather, but shit, you're gonna have to go to bowl teams then. I mean, bowl stadiums that have, for the teams to go to the bowl stadiums. If you're worrying about, if you're worrying about things like heat or whatever, because baseball lags. I mean, it's there and that's great, but no one is. I mean, they're going to games, but it doesn't really become that important until when NFL and college just have started to kick off that September, October. So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to be competing at the same time. It never has.
I see what you're saying, but there is such a short time for spring football.
I'm not worried about
get in and get done because
I'm not worried about college. I'm talking about them, the second tier league.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a short time for them to be able to do this because you remember when the USFL in the 80s tried it and they were drafting guys.
Mm-hmm.
So the draft was like, okay, are you going to go to USFL or are you going to go to NFL? So they were competing against each other. This is, they're not competing, but also you've got to remember that by the time the UFL ends their season, all those guys have to be in camps. If there's a guy that gets invited from one of the spring leagues.
Okay, I can understand that.
So those guys have to go get.
Yeah, but see, then that's when you just start plucking them, though. You just pluck them before the season's over. It's like there's a pay to play. It's almost like a free agent. If he's game 3 or 4 and they're looking good, and the Colts look at this team and went, or this guy on this team and went, oh, we want this guy, and you're like, here's the $25,000 you would have paid him the rest of the year or whatever it is.
Then you've got to bring up the European League of Football, which is technically a summer league. And wasn't there a guy that was drafted out of Great Britain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I know he was a rugby player, and I don't know if he was involved in that league, but I know guys go over there and play in that summer league. They'll end up over there. Plus, there's a lot of Europeans that play in that league. And so you're going to start looking at the NFL, looking at those guys as well, because they're playing American football over there now.
Correct. No, and I think that will just continue.
So I'm just saying the UFL is doing it because they want to get these guys, get through their season, and then get them into their respective camps if they have an invite to.
I just don't think it's a good business plan. That's just me.
I think it's fine. I just don't think that you should expect the NFL ratings.
Oh no, you're never going to get those. Never, and
it's
never.
like the NBA G League.
But I mean never.
D League.
But it's exactly like that. Hockey should take a look at themselves and move their season back too.
Why?
I mean,
hockey's great.
It is. Playoffs are great, but
I watch hockey more than basketball.
But that doesn't but you shouldn't have to choose. That's my whole point. I shouldn't have
I
to
don't
be
have
able
to choose.
I shouldn't have to have the option of watching the Thunder on one and then watching the Avalanche on the other channel. The two teams.
Well, that's why you get two TVs.
Well, no, you could do
or
that
a
or do a
streaming
split.
service.
I understand that, but I'm just saying to actually focus to do that, their ratings would be better when the playoffs are over or start before.
But you can't do
It's
the
all
do the
possible.
Winter Classic
It's all
in the
possible.
summer.
Well, it's always cold somewhere.
Is it?
Yes.
Where?
Or start before.
Everybody, we're going to the Arctic Circle to play hockey.
Well, there you go.
We need all 5 fans and the Inuits that live there to come with us. So, all right. Well, that's our rant for the beginning. What do you want to roll into? I saw that. What are they doing?
What do you mean? What are they doing?
RSU.
Yes. We'll talk.
I guess you want to go into college sports?
Yeah, we can go into college sports real quick. Go ahead.
Well, I saw that OU. I know they dropped one game against Texas. How many did the OU baseball men?
Dropped 2 to Texas.
We dropped 2 to Texas. Okay. Yes, unfortunately that little tidbit popped up.
So essentially, OU baseball. We'll start with OU baseball. 26-16. Actually, lost 2 in a row. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Lost to Texas twice. The second one was in a rain delay. The 7th inning, they had to cut the game short.
It was in Oklahoma City.
No, I don't.
Was it in Austin?
I don't know where that game. I forgot to look actually because OU won the first one. But anyway, they lost 10-12 in the 7th, and they called the game. But what I wanted to tell you is, after the 2 losses, even to Texas, OU still is first place in the Big 12. Oklahoma State has inched up right behind them. They've actually been on a 4-game win streak. They swept, I believe it was BYU this last weekend. So Oklahoma 26-16, Oklahoma State 30-14. Oklahoma's got the edge just by 1 game, 15-16, and then 14-7 for Oklahoma State, rounded out or followed by West Virginia, Texas, Kansas, and then it gets into a lot of other people down there below.
This is a really good bounce back for OU's men, because the women have been great for, I don't know, two generations now.
So men will play a non-conference against in Tulsa, ORU tomorrow night at 6:30. Looks like that game's still a go. Then we'll have Then we'll have a 3-game series against Tech in Lubbock, and then we'll close. No, and then we go 3 games with Baylor. One Xavier. But the reason the Xavier game is because they're going to stay in Ohio, and then Cincinnati will be the last 3. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like 8.
Because they do
11 games left for OU.
They do June as their men and women do June as the trip to Oklahoma City and the trip to Omaha.
11 games left for OU. Oklahoma State, they're going to also play a non-conference tomorrow. They'll go. The Wichita State comes to Stillwater. That's also a 6 o'clock game. Then they open a 3-game series at Texas, and then they'll come back to Stillwater for 3 games with Tech, and then close out the season.
So they got
they also have Kent. Yeah, so they have Houston.
They don't have to do the travel. They are like a big travel.
Well, I mean, I think it was, they're going to have a little bit softer schedule playing Houston and Texas Tech.
But what I'm saying is, they have an easier.
Well, Baylor's not had a good year, so I shouldn't say that. I mean, because what did I say? Oklahoma finishes up with Baylor and also Tech, and then Cincinnati, which would be Cincinnati's actually doing better than Tech, so they're Cincinnati right now setting 6th.
OU does, but I'm saying Oklahoma State doesn't have that big of a travel.
No, and they have a little bit easier schedule.
What is this? What is all this weird? Look at this fancy website they've got.
So we'll move on to let's talk a little bit about softball. Tulsa softball right now.
Oh, what I was going to say is, this is a great bounce back for the OU team that went to Omaha, that went to the national title, played that Ole Miss team, had an off season the season after, and then this season has come back and they're leading the Big 12.
Yeah, they hit really well. I wish their pitching was a little bit better.
Well, we lost a couple pitchers.
Yeah. They had some good draft picks that go. Yes,
we lost a couple pitchers after that.
That's the one thing I'd like to see them, and that's why I said the the Texas loss in 7 innings. They were down 2 runs. That with the way they hit, that could definitely change. So.
And of course the delay. I think the delay might have hurt that as well.
Probably so, because that was a doubleheader that day.
Yeah.
So let's talk about TU softball. They are currently 29-19.
How the Lady Hurricanes
struggled this season, 29-19. They've got just a series left, like most softball players do. They'll be in Boca Raton. Nice way to end their season at Florida Atlantic.
Come on, you want to go? You want to go to that? Let's go to Boca.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
We get a golf cart.
And then we'll talk about the
I'll drive your old ass around, Miss Daisy.
Then they'll talk about, or they'll go to the AAC.
Now the AAU, that is the
championship.
That's thug basketball.
That's right. So then, let's talk about softball girls. OSU, obviously having a great year, 42-8. They're on a win. They're on also, as far as OU, when we get to them, they're on also an 8-game win streak, 19-5 in conference. And I think they'll finish up. They swept Kansas this week. And obviously 19-5 in conference, and I think they finish with OU. Obviously, that's going to be the Bedlam. That's the last 3 series. Mm-hmm. And also, Bedlam should be on all 3 games televised. I'll spit that out.
It's weird that baseball doesn't end with a Bedlam.
Well, they'll start Friday because the Arlington game. Remember, they had that odd Arlington game in there that was canceled. So May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 6:30. Then we're gonna have a day game on Saturday, and an afternoon 3:00 game on Sunday. So
I've been seeing a lot of BS
you're
about
looking at
Oklahoma not being ready for the SEC.
Fox Sports South
in softball, in gymnastics, in baseball, in
softball. They've owned it.
I know,
but Fox Sports South, Fox Sports 1 on Friday. Then you got
just say FS1.
You got ESPN regular on Saturday for the softball bedlam. And then you've got ESPN2 at 3:00 on Sunday. So all three games.
The last two games
time.
are ESPN. First game's on Fox.
One ESPN and one ESPN2. So that's pretty badass to get the. I mean, it tells you what those basketball teams or the softball teams have.
When does all that? May 8th is.
Yes, May 8th is tournament time.
Tournament time. Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, that's fast.
Yes, that is.
I'm not even thinking like that. When there's the road to Omaha and the road to Oklahoma City? Is that end of May?
What do you mean?
When do they start? Because they don't do a regular.
Yeah, they'll do regionals and tournaments.
Right. Yes. You know, the way that baseball and softball goes, it's not the same as football and basketball.
25th, they'll end the Big 12 championship. That'll be the championship game. Then you do regionals May 31st through the 3rd. Super regionals will go to the 10th, and then the World Series starts June 14th.
June 14th. Okay.
Yeah, mid-June.
Well, we get tickets if you want to. Look at that. $60 to $35 to $185.
Oh, for the tournament?
For the Big 12, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Talk a little bit about...
We are just speeding through the fun. We're on to 26.
Want to talk about OU tennis. The ladies are heading to College Station to take on Arizona in the first round. And then OU men, they actually are hosting this year. So.
I don't care.
Well, no, that's good. I mean, that's
what about TU? What are they doing in tennis?
TU tennis.
TU has. Have you not seen? So when I started going to college, it was when they built that huge tennis center. They had the outdoor and they had the indoor. Like I know that they're big with the tennis. The tennis.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they beat Alabama. 3-4 there.
I haven't seen. I just looked. I saw OU's breakdown of the tennis, so I didn't even look up the other.
Golf. I saw golf happen the other day, and I was like, nobody cares.
Love golf.
You want to get? Yeah, I know. You're old. You want to? We gonna get into the equestrian?
No, I didn't.
No. Big 12 equestrian. We have no idea what's happening. Hey, you know what? It's our time. Get off your phone.
No, hey, I'm scheduling visits and such. All right,
visits for what?
I'm done with college. I mean,
visits for what? What are you scheduling visits for?
We'll talk about that later. So there's I didn't talk about Rogers State 40-10. That's a local.
Oh, that's what we want to talk about.
Yes, Rogers State.
The old Wildcats.
Hillcats.
Whatever.
They're going to the MIAA tournament. That starts Thursday, 11 a.m. It's going to be in Edmond, Oklahoma. National champs a couple of years ago were those Hillcat ladies.
They're Division 3 or JUCO?
You know, they're not JUCO. It must be Division 3. I've never really looked at that, to be honest.
I can't remember because I know they were JUCO to start out with. But
well,
they moved up. I know that they became a university, so I can't find anything.
On what?
Tennis men dropped 4-1 decision to Rice in the quarterfinal round for tennis.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's a great. That is a. I mean, if you've ever seen those courts,
it's Dale McNamara court, or no, it's the
and that indoor thing they've got is great. Well, and other Kenny boring news, but McElroy and what's his name won.
You know, I didn't watch the golf. It's a little early for me.
I caught my mom watched it. I was like, "What are you watching, old lady?" I love the golf. They're in NOLA, and I was like, "I hate you."
Rogers State baseball, 24-23, not doing as well as the softball ladies on that side. So it looks like their tournament also is going to start the 3rd. Now that's going to be.
All right.
No, go ahead.
No, because I was going to go into college football.
The first round, I don't know where the first round. I guess you top seed host, which won't be them, and then they'll go to Pittsburgh if they make it.
Oh, okay.
All right, go ahead.
Breaking news that UAB became the first Division I school to join the Players Association for college football, and Trent Dilfer's their coach. So
now, same UAB though that canceled football.
Same UAB that got rid of football for I don't remember the reason. I think they said they couldn't afford it. It was their biggest, one of their money makers, and then they were like, because UAB is known for they're the medical school. They're the old Alabama medical school. That's what they are. If you go to Alabama, that is where you go to school to become a doctor.
Okay.
All that. That is the school. And then you go to Montgomery to learn shotgun trauma and gunshot trauma. Southside apparently has the best shotgun wound intensive care unit in the nation.
Good to know that.
But yeah, so what does this do for? What does this do? Does it start a avalanche? I know that they started this players association to start getting the players more of the revenue. Are we going to start seeing players signing contracts to play there?
Well, I think for some schools and coaches, they'd prefer that. It means they can't leave.
Right. And I think we talked about this a few weeks ago about
But then they become employees then.
Right. So, they are employees. You're paying them a certain amount. You have them under contract. What does that do to the transfer portal?
It's going to shit. NCAA is going to shit, and they know it, and they just keep letting it go. And now all these states and stuff.
Basketball is one of the worst.
States are making their own rules now about the nil and all that stuff, and it's just.
Well, remember, California started all that.
Well, yeah. So the states are making it more attractive for these players to come in.
Oregon, who just made a
Virginia
new
had
one?
a good one
Was it
too.
Virginia?
Yes, we talked about that. I think a little bit last week.
Yeah. So eventually, the kids are going to become employees, and they won't be able to just jump
go and willy-nilly leave. Yeah.
These kids are going to come in. Okay, I just want to sign a 1-year contract.
And I think some of the coaches are going to start. And what it's going to take, these, and it's not going to happen. That's a problem because look right now who's succeeding in football is big money markets. Texas for one. They hadn't done shit for years. Now they've got money, and they actually made the college football playoff. The winners
Michigan did well, but that was cheating, maybe. So.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, the bigger programs are excelling because of that nil money. There's no coincidence there. So you can't have this. The big schools are going to stay up there, but schools like Alabama, Ohio State, see, they're not as big in the nil as you think because there's not big business and donors there. Oklahoma's another one. They just don't got the money like some of these state schools do.
Because Alabama does have the donors. They do have the people that go there.
Yeah, but not compared to Texas or Michigan
I know oil money, and Michigan has.
You're gonna start seeing crazy schools like Rutgers and some other things that are making money. That's just that these players are staying. So
Miami, how much money's in Miami?
Yeah, there's a lot of money there. Culture's bad and in my opinion.
I think the culture's still bad. I don't think that culture's been cleaned up yet.
Well, no, I don't think he's a good coach at all.
I know, but I think
he's not one. He's very average anywhere he's went, and Sarkisian was until this year too. Now, when we talk about the NFL draft, they got a lot of NFL talent drafted.
They did.
And so, what are they going to do? What is the makeup to get them back? I mean, and that team didn't even beat Oklahoma last year.
But they also have college players getting in trouble for racing, drunk driving. You're starting to see that. You're starting to see the kids with the money screwing up, and it's it's no longer the the 90s and back where the cops will cover that up.
They don't do that.
Push it under. They don't do it. There's too many cameras. There's too many people just out there going, oh, look at this guy.
Well, I think you've just got more honest police officers than maybe 20 years ago.
Well, I think they're honest because they know they're being watched.
Well, I mean, there's some of that too. I think
that's what makes them more.
But that's the problem, though, is I think that they get a bad rap because 2% of them might be bad and the other ones are honest. But you only see the bad ones. I think that's a very common misconception of that.
Yeah. So I mean, that was college football, news. Looks like the NCAA is trying to settle a NIL antitrust. Because NCAA and the NIL has just
seeing this shit over.
Why can they not get that correct?
It's just over. And
also, why do we have 2 transfer portals? Why don't we just do 1 transfer portal a year?
Well, they're bad timing for both.
Horrible. Yeah, because I think
especially for basketball.
we actually for basketball and for football because we talked about you've got coaches worried about the transfer portal going into a bowl game and trying to do recruiting. Mm-hmm. So when that happens in December,
Same for basketball.
But
they're
then-
not going to the other tournaments at the end of the year. That those other teams, you've got start of the NCAA tournament and then a portal window.
But
That's
then-
why the NIT
but
is failing.
even with NCAA football, you have a spring portal. So if those guys go and they don't like it, well, they're jumping back in the portal.
I mean, everyone's already solved the problem. Just make it a 1-year transfer period.
Right. Well, keep a grad transfer too.
I don't mind the grad transfer. Immediately, go do it. That means you've actually went to school.
Yeah.
You're not just getting a check for coming out of high school.
Right.
That means you actually had to complete something as a grad transfer.
Well, and so that brings us
It means
back.
you actually were a student athlete,
That brings
not
us
just
back
a paid
to
student.
what's going to
There's a big
happen
difference.
with the Players Association if it does snowball and more start entering into that.
Possibility.
And so you have bargaining rights, all that, and you become an employee. So
Healthcare, retirement. Yeah.
well, I don't know about
Kind of
retirement.
pension.
I don't know
Well,
about
I mean,
retirement.
who else? I mean, how long does the union end when you're out of school, or do you?
Yeah, it should end.
Well,
when
what
you're not
about
there.
if you become a grad student or an assistant coach, or
It should end when once you are out of school and you have moved on to the NFL or you are no longer eligible to play. That's where it ends.
when it should. They should never even have union rights as far as for players, but whatever.
We don't know. We're not. We're not.
Oh,
those,
we know it's shit. That's
We're
what
not
it is.
those. I'm not a lawyer. I pretend to be one for the ladies.
All right, let's give a quick recap on NHL.
Woo!
Yeah,
You know
well,
what? I
yeah,
told
well-
you those Florida Panthers are the team to watch. I know that the Rangers. The Rangers
I think they're the first team to
swept. They were the
advance,
first.
yes.
Yeah, they were the first. That was their first sweep since 07.
Nice.
Right now, the Panthers are up 2-1 in the second over the Lightning. Kraken just fired their coach.
Saw that. They gave him 3 years, though. That's enough.
Well, it was the dive. You start out really good, and then you've just slowly, unlike the Golden
Well,
Knights.
I mean, but you start out good
unlike
because
the Golden Knights, that have started out really good and
they stayed
stayed
good.
really good.
Yeah, but you can't plan every. I mean, that's what you want to be, but it's just not going
You
to
can't, but
But how many good players come out in those supplemental drafts? There's a draft expansive drafts. I mean,
I
because you have to
know.
give up X amount of people to throw on that list, and they're taking a good cream of the crop from everybody.
well,
That's why I've never agreed
you
with
have
that.
protected players and unprotected players.
But there's not as many as you'd like. I mean, that's the whole deal. It's kind of interesting when they do that.
And
All
what
right.
is Boston? Boston's up 3-1 over
over the
the
Maple-
Leaves.
yes.
I've always hated the Leaves.
Yeah.
Go black and gold.
Stars, I think. Let's see. Canucks got a good win yesterday against the Predators. That put them up 3-1. Avalanche killed the Jets. That puts them also up 3-1. Edmonton rolled the Kings, there was no debate about that. That's up 3-1. That was one.
Another team from the South, Carolina, up 3-1 over the Islanders.
Stars need to win tonight. That's the tonight game. They're going to play obviously the Golden Knights.
What
They're
are they,
down
two to one?
2-1, and then you start. What was the Islanders and Hurricanes, Sean? Did you say what was that?
3-1.
Is that also? Yeah, it is.
Hurricane.
Islanders did win that last game, but God, it was 2-0, or it was 2 overtimes.
I've been watching the Jets Avs games, and I don't know what happened in that last game.
Well, Avalanche is just better.
The Jets had them, and then
It looks to be a bad matchup.
it was Game 3.
It
I
looks
was
to be
I was watching Game 3.
Looks to be a bad.
Winnipeg was up, I believe, 2-1 in the second, and then that third period hit.
Gotcha. But no, I think it's a bad
And it
matchup.
just went down. I like Winnipeg. I've always liked the Jets.
It's a 2 seed versus 3 seed, but now up 3-1. The next game that'll be April 30th. That'll be tomorrow night, 9:30 at Winnipeg. Then they'll go back to Colorado if necessary, and then back. So
Yeah, they do that weird Game 6, Game 7.
that's what they should
switch
do.
up.
It's what should every team.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. It's. I think baseball tried it and then went back.
Well, I think
Did you,
basketball did because you get
That's
three.
basketball.
Yeah, you get
All right,
three,
did you
three
talk
games
about-
in a row. So
Let's talk about the Preds and the Canucks and the Preds not showing up.
no, the Canucks are up.
I said the Preds not
Oh,
showing up.
yeah. I don't know why does that match up 1 versus 1 so early? I know the playoffs are kind of weird for hockey. I don't understand it.
I don't know.
Oh, that's wild card 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was like, I don't.
No, I was
like,
looking at the
Nashville
wrong thing.
didn't.
Well, I thought
I think Nashville didn't.
I
win.
thought hockey this year was actually a lot of teams that really were really good. You know what I mean? You had a good line all the way up. Now you had some drop offs.
I did.
Your Bears and whatever they are, the Blackhawks.
the
You know, so a lot of those, there were some teams that ate shit
still
really bad.
Suffer.
But,
We still suffer from bad
but,
management. Another exciting series: Edmonton Oilers and Los Angeles Kings. This has been
is it exciting?
but they've been real fun games. You remember this was Edmonton.
6-1 one.
Edmonton was where Gretzky came from before he went to LA.
Correct.
And
I don't
then
think
LA
they care about that anymore, though, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah, it's still. LA is still nothing.
LA's not what they used to be. I wouldn't be. It's gonna be Edmonton or Avalanche is my pick in the Western
for the Pacific.
I don't know. Well, I don't know how that stands up, but that'll be coming out. And then you got the West, and Vancouver looks pretty good too. So.
Yeah, and I
wouldn't be surprised if Boston in the fourth.
I'm still saying Florida.
I guess.
I'm still thinking Florida.
Florida
So the
really
Rangers won the President's Cup.
All right, well, go. You know,
so they had the best.
Yes, they did. I forgot about the Rangers too.
The Rangers won, but.
And you know, Boston usually.
Florida is.
Who was the Eastern Conference rep last year? You remember?
It was Florida.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Okay, and they lost.
They went and lost to
Vegas again.
Vegas, I believe. Yeah.
Shit, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was Vegas.
We'll give it to the Rangers.
But you got to remember that
Boston
Florida team
always blows it.
That Florida team was very low seeded.
Yes, they
weren't. So it's like I think it's it's Rangers Boston.
Are you sure they were last year, or did they make the championship?
What? No, Panthers made it last season.
Oh, okay.
Remember, because I told you they were low seed and nobody really expected them to go that far. They ended up taking out Boston. Boston had won the President's Cup.
Well, I think that was first round, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm just saying the East is a lot tougher than the West. Are you trying to find?
Yeah, I was trying to find the bracket of last year.
Oh, well, good luck. NBA news. Suns are out.
Don't speed through this because I have a lot to talk about.
Everybody's very upset with that team. They swept. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Swept by the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm. Which are my Western Conference champion prediction.
Okay. I think I have the Nuggets doing it again.
What is, looks like they're going to play them next. Thunder right now on Bally Sports. Sorry you can't watch it on prime time because the NBA's idiots.
That's on NBA TV if you have NBA TV.
And that too. No, it's blacked out too. You got to have Bally in this state to watch it. Promise.
Are you shitting me?
Or stream it. Yes. Yes. And Bally should be about done. I think they're done with that.
I thought that they had to pay all the teams.
Is the Thunder tonight the last game?
Yeah. Well, this is game 4.
Well, no. I mean, if they win, obviously they sweep.
Right.
Is this the late game tonight?
Do you think this would have been? It's right now.
I know. Is that the late game though?
Oh, I don't. I'd have to go look.
It is. It is.
Do you think that would be a different matchup with
with
Fat Boy?
Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if the Thunder wasn't even or even down. I mean, the Thunder have got to win. To win a championship, legitimately, they've got to have a big man that can rebound. Yeah, okay, it is.
Lakers Nuggets is late.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
Which
right
I am so tired of seeing LeBron James. What, he whined about the refs the other night when the Nuggets came back and beat them?
Well, I think so. Recap on that. You talked about the Suns being swept by the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
Young, you got Anthony Edwards. Now you've got KD and Booker. I've never liked Booker. I think he's just trash. He scores a lot, plays crap defense.
I thought you talked him up. I thought you
no, never happened.
It's your wife that loves her some Booker.
Yes, and so then you talk about Durant looking a little sluggish, old. The defense. I mean, do you know they don't have a first round pick till 2030?
They gave it all the way to
for 5 years.
City Thunder.
No, they didn't have to. They traded for the Nets got some of that. We didn't get any Suns love. They've given up everything to build this monster team. But you think about look who's not in the playoffs now. Curry's out. Durant's out. You still have.
They did the play-in game. So
no, but I'm saying who's out now.
I know, but you count play-in game
the first
as
round.
part of.
That's fine, but it's still
a lot of people do not count play-in games.
But after the first round, you've potentially got LeBron out tonight. Steph Curry's out. Obviously, that crew from.
There's guys they
got
get
Durant out.
They cannot fix that team for some reason. I don't know what's wrong with that Golden State team. One, you need to get
age.
You need to get Draymond Green out of there.
Age. It's age.
They're
old.
got it.
Teams get old.
Steph Curry's not that old. He's in his early 30s.
You know, Durant had made it to the second round since he was with the Warriors.
Wow. And Durant's almost our age, isn't he?
No, he's younger. He's probably, I'd say Durant's 30. I wish he was our age. 35, 36 is my guess. You can look it up.
Yeah,
I bet he's 35, 36 is my guess.
Because I remember, I know that Oklahoma City Thunder team with Durant and Westbrook and
I want to say, I think
Beard,
he's 35, 36.
35.
Well, there you go.
He was born in 88.
Yes.
That's still close to us.
Just 9 years off you.
10. I'll be 45 this year.
You were born in 79. That's 9 years.
Hey, soon I'll be 10 years older than him.
Just about 9 years.
And then in September, I'll be 9 years older than him.
Yeah, okay, there
so
you go.
let's not get this twisted.
Well, you're 9 for like 2 months. Yeah. But anyway.
No, 10
no,
for
but
two.
I mean,
10 for 2 months. 10 for 2.
Oh, 10 for 2.
10 for 2.
10 for 2. Like, not a 2 for 2, but 10 for 2.
10 for 2. So,
but no, I mean, some of those old All-Stars they're losing. I mean, now you've got Shea, you've got you've got Anthony Edwards. I mean, those are the two things.
Who's old team?
Who?
The Clippers.
Okay, yes, they are, and that's tied. That's the best series.
They are an old team.
No, that is the best series right now. But the Clippers are kind of old too.
But that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I'm sorry, the Dallas is kind of old too. You know, not Doncic isn't the
it's Doncic and Irving.
But Irving's old. I mean, he's the senior captain, and he's the one been kicking ass.
I know.
I mean, he's the one that's doing it now. Then you've got the injuries to the Bucks, which looks like that's going to be horrific for them because I think
are those really injuries or those just guys just?
No, they have to be. And then the one guy got kicked. The one guy got kicked.
And I don't.
Was that just an anti Doc Rivers type deal? They fired our coach and like, fuck you, Doc, we're just hurt.
Yeah, like, oh, we're gonna lose.
So let's talk about the Mavericks right now. Tied with the Clippers. Obviously, Clippers won the first one by about 12 points.
The Beard has been playing his.
Yeah, he has too. But honestly, it's been playoff P is what they want to call him. Yes, he's been actually the one running the show. And then you got the Clippers win the last one by 5. So Wednesday's game is at LA, and then you've got Friday at Dallas. So that's going to be interesting. That looks to be the only series right now that I'm seeing that's really consistently being even. Now you look, what's the Knicks? No, Knicks are up 3-1 too. No. Yes.
No, there's one more, Kenny. I just passed it.
Oh yes, that's right.
Nobody cares. It's Orlando Cavaliers.
Well, no, nobody cared at first, and now everyone's kind of caring because the Magic took care of business at home. The Magic's probably one of the best, most improved besides the Thunder. This year got Paulo Banchero, obviously a great pick for them. And then you look at the Cavaliers, who I thought could win the East, struggled both games back in Orlando. So it was a night and day.
I think I picked the Knicks to win that.
It's a night and day.
I picked the Knicks
you did.
Because Boston.
No, you picked the Knicks
Boston
to beat.
Hurts. And I didn't want to pick the Knicks.
No, it's Philadelphia who you're talking about, not Boston.
No, it's Boston hurts. Boston hurts me because they get
you're talking past the first round.
So close, and then they just
you're talking past the bed. You're talking past the first. No,
I'm talking about the last 2 seasons.
No, Boston. To win it all. I thought you were just talking about first round series.
No. I mean, look, you're already 2-1 with the Heat.
And I think that game's going on. Is that game going on right now? I think we got an update.
7:30
on
Eastern time. So it should have already it should already started.
That's what I was going to say.
I wasn't. But they were up to 25-15 or something.
I'll pull it up real quick. Keep talking about your love of whoever.
But Jimmy's
up by 21 currently. Third quarter, 5 minutes left.
They really are starting.
Boston 64-43. Which Heat rolling into that had no chance in my opinion. I know they played them last year. They beat them. Hey, great. But
that was in the championship.
The Heat. I mean, one is an 8 seed. That's great. They made all. There was a 7 or 8 seed.
Was it the championship?
They were a 7 or 8 seed. They ran that run. Yeah, they made that.
Well,
run.
Jimmy Butler got knocked out, and the Heat win game 2. Jimmy Butler got injured. Remember, he has that knee injury.
Yeah, by 10. But if you look at the Celtics wins, though, they've been big. Now they're big right now too. So I have the Celtics in the East, no doubt. That
I
was my
wanted
pick.
to. I wanted to, but for me, the complete team was.
And see, and I disagree.
Unfortunately,
I didn't think
the
the
Knicks.
Knicks. Now I like Thibodeau, their coach. They play good defense.
team.
I just didn't figure that they were.
I remember the Bulls had Thibodeau. Couldn't do
They
anything
did.
with
They
him because
did.
we
Well,
wouldn't
too many
draft
injuries
him.
though.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that was the Rose years.
Right now, we're still dealing with the Lonzo Ball, Lorenzo Ball.
right,
Whatever happened to the Ball family?
Into the first on NBA TV, horseshit, is Oklahoma City and New Orleans.
Kenny's very upset by this.
They're in
ladies and gentlemen.
OKC and New Orleans. They're tied at 21 after the first.
Kenny is.
But anyway-
Kenny's going to throw something.
But anyway, as the rest of the NBA playoffs goes, it's kind of going about what we all thought. Now, I thought the 76ers would beat the Knicks. Obviously, they have not been game on. Otherwise,
And I had the Knicks. I got the Knicks going.
And then you had the injuries for the Bucks, so it's worked out in favor for the Pacers.
What is? I don't want to talk about this Bucks team. I think a couple guys are faking.
Well, maybe it's an anti-Doc Rivers deal.
I don't know.
Has anyone pushed that out there?
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, they
know.
did
I don't
fire
know.
their coach, and they were in like first or second place. And then they brought Doc Rivers in, who's
So
not
they were
been
in
monumental in
second
playoffs.
place,
I mean, he didn't
fired
do
their
anything
coach,
didn't do anything with Philadelphia
didn't.
last he was there, and he did win a championship with
Boston,
Boston. Yeah, 1 year.
and he also did the Clippers too.
Didn't win though.
No, but he still did the Clippers too. All right, that is our other sports talky talk, and we are going into our draft reactions. Mel Kiper, you are an idiot.
Now, what are you hating on Mel for?
Okay, he gave Bo Nix an F in his grades, final grades.
I'm gonna pull them up. Hold on.
He had given Bo Nix an F, and he had given the Michael Penix draft an F. I think he wanted them to go second round is why he gave them an F. But the Broncos needed a quarterback. And I need to send you the picture. It's the picture of Dennis Quaid and Jamie Foxx from Any Given Sunday standing next to each other, and somebody was like, this is Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr.
I have seen that.
So I understand why Atlanta drafted Penix Jr. You've got
Do explain that. Tell me why
you've got a
think they did.
35-year-old quarterback, 2 years guaranteed money. He's coming off an Achilles injury. All right? You're not going to have him for the next 10 years.
You're assuming.
6 years. No, you're not going to have Kirk Cousins that long.
Well, no, you said now you went after 2, but no, not 6. Obviously,
You're not going to have him that long. So, what they've realized is that maybe Green Bay's doing it correctly, where you get a quarterback.
Hold on.
Shut up.
Is Kenny getting
Shut
some
up.
love for the
No.
the love?
No,
pick?
I'm talking about
okay.
how Green Bay's management has decided to do it, where you had Aaron Rodgers set behind Brett Favre, and then you had there was actually numerous guys that sat behind Aaron Rodgers, but then they brought in Jordan Love and had him set. What he set for 2 years? How long did Rodgers set behind Favre?
Ooh, I think
3
Love
years?
might have been 3. But
Well,
I'm not
Rodgers
sure.
was behind Favre for 3-4 years.
Yeah, Love was behind Rodgers.
So what you're looking at is Kirk Cousins in 5 years will be 40 years old. He's not Tom Brady. He's Jay Cutler 2.0. And so
You're so wrong about
you're
that.
trying to get your quarterback. And Michael Penix Jr. is a really good quarterback.
You know, I think that potentially Kirk Cousins could be in the Hall of Fame.
For
The
trash.
statistics he has.
What? Yeah, he's got the same statistics as Jay Cutler.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
You looked at per seasons, not career.
No, I looked at career. They're right there. I think what's his nuts? Kirk Cousins is 3 games under at this point. I'll find out. I'll find to get it to you.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do it today.
No, I'm not
but
going to do it. I'm definitely not going to do it.
So go
today.
back to that. So you're thinking that the Penix pick. Here's the problem I had with it. No, you're right. We talked about this. 2 years guaranteed. Hey,
2
great.
years guaranteed.
Penix, but listen, my only issue with that is, and even the general manager come out and said, hey, we picked this quarterback because we felt like with Kirk Cousins, we're not going to have that high a pick for the next 2 to 4 years.
Right.
Okay, so But then the only thing that I don't like about Penix, and he's got an injury issue. He's an older quarterback. You know, he's one of the olds there. He's played for quite a while.
You're saying the same thing that Kirk Cousins is.
Injury
issue,
but you brought
older
him,
quarterback.
But you brought him for $100 million guaranteed. You don't have to pay that to Penix.
90 million.
If
it was 90.
no, it was $100 million.
Oh,
It's 180 total.
Right, 180.
And 100 guaranteed.
They got 10 on signing day.
Now, so what they did is they panicked because they thought Penix would be done, you know, by when they actually, you know, they could have traded down. Let's say, hey, who's going to trade up? Well, they couldn't do that because they panicked because who was going to trade up with them? Look like we talked about, the Vikings, the 49er, not 49, the Vikings, the Broncos, and the Raiders look to be the teams that might take quarterbacks. Correct. Even though the Raiders didn't. I don't know, did they take one later? I didn't even look. I haven't even looked at their actual full draft pick. But so that was the concern, that they didn't want to bring them, that they thought that they were going to lose him. Now, if Penix, a lot of other statisticians, if you want to call them,
Raiders took no quarterback.
So they're good.
They're all in on Aiden O'Connell.
Minshew. I bet's a starter.
But you got to think, the best quarterback coming next year is probably Cam Rising.
Ewers looks high.
I wouldn't draft that mullet-headed. I would not draft that mullet-headed.
But anyway, so you look at them, and you think, and that's the panic that goes into. Well, are you going to take them now? And I think they panicked. I think if you think you're that good and you potentially could a weak South, we've talked about this.
That's
it is
fine,
a weak South.
That's fine.
They need
but
defense.
It did not deserve the grade of an F.
For Penix?
Penix or Bo Nix.
No, I think it was just
both teams. Well, not both teams. Denver definitely needed a quarterback, and I don't know where they were going to find a quarterback outside of the draft.
And see, I thought that's where they stretched.
What, with Bo Nix?
I do. I just don't like
Who
him.
would you have taken?
I would have traded down and kept trading down. And
Who is available?
Bo Nix would have been available in the second round.
Available.
He'd have been available in the second round.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody wanted to trade because if you look, nobody was.
Oh, hell, there was trade offers. And then you turn around and you look, and then even Sean Payton comes out and he goes, he was our guy. Bullshit. You were trying to trade, along with the Vikings, you guys were trying to trade with the Patriots.
Yeah, I did see that.
Don't come back and say, oh, we got our guy at 12. You trading up to get Bo Nix at 3? My ass was... I mean, come on. Was Vikings trading up at 3 to get McCartney? My ass.
Well, hey, good news. The albino Rattler, he went to the Saints in the...
And I thought that's a good fit for him. That's a good...
Is it?
Yeah, for that team, yeah, because they don't have a quarterback.
I mean, he's got to learn behind... He's got to sit behind pretty eyes.
But they don't have a quarterback.
He's got to sit right behind pretty
But anyway,
eyes.
going back to the first round, you talk about and we'll go down each one as far as the draft.
Oh, also... Still very upset that Tampa didn't take Tampa.
And they had opportunities.
I think we were both upset by it because we were talking and we were like, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. They've got another pick coming. They didn't take Tampa.
They didn't take him.
And so you've got to wonder why these guys that were high, why they weren't taken, why they fell.
Listen, in 2 years, you're going to have GMs in this draft be fired because of the dipshit choices they made, hands down.
Okay, one thing in Denver,
and need is always
that's Walmart money. We don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Well, Peyton's going to last because they've given him draft picks.
I'm just saying it's Walmart money.
But they've made the Bowers. I love Bowers, but I thought it was weird. The Raiders they
did a tight end.
I forgot it. No, they didn't. They drafted that May guy last year. Mayer. Yeah. Mayer? And see, and I knew I talked about that, or I didn't talk about that. And I was pissed after on the Thursday. I was looking through that, and I thought, God, it was Mayer from Notre Dame, I believe. Yeah, they drafted high last year, so I don't know maybe they're going to look at trade him. But
tight end. So what I'm looking at with the Raiders is.
But they tried that.
Raiders are going to run a 2 tight end system the rest of the season.
Well, there's going to be a lot of running. Who's their running back now that?
Poop in a hat.
So now that Josh Jacobs is gone, obviously went to the Packers, and then Aaron Jones went to the Vikings. So the running game, is it Madison? It is! I might draft him again. Because he's going to be running and running.
How do you look at that organization? You say, Why? Let's give up Josh Jacobs and bring in a guy who is very unproven.
I don't know. I think it was the signing, but you okay. So we review that draft a little bit. Obviously, Alt went before he fell to Tennessee, and I think Tennessee was looking at him. So they took. Now they'll say they took the best tackle. Bullshit. And maybe they think Latham is. I mean, there's so much lying when it comes to that.
Well, everything in there is all about lying. Oh, we took the best guy.
No,
Caleb Williams is definitely an F+.
No, I liked.
Thanks for taking F+.
No, so Arizona, I liked their draft. I'm going to talk a little bit about.
You kept talking about that.
I love Marvin Harrison. I think he is the generational player in this draft.
I want to say that I saw that L.A. Rams had a high grade for their draft.
Ravens did well. Steelers did well.
That's right. They got Verse and Fisk.
Who?
The Rams. Their first 2 picks, the first round and second round, they took that really good. They took the 2 guys.
Yes, they did well.
The 2 guys from the really good Florida State defense.
And I thought Blake Corum's weak. I don't think he's a good running back for the NFL. I mean, he was good in college.
Oh, I figured the Chargers were going to take that.
No,
guy.
I mean, yeah.
So what does that tell you?
Well, they still didn't.
What does that tell you if Harbaugh's not taking
still didn't take him.
his boy?
Yeah,
But they don't need it. Remember, they don't need a running back. They got Kyrene.
No, I just think they're just
Rams don't need a running back. They've got Kyrene, so he's a third down back. Corum is going to come in.
Ravens a little bit. We'll break down. Let's break down what time. Where are we at? About an hour. We'll break down a few tidbits of each team. Now we're going out
supplemental draft. Our boy Stoops is with the Rams. I saw that because
Isaiah Cole went to the Colt. This free agent, not supplemental. It's free agent.
Oh yeah,
signing.
that's something. Yeah, undrafted free agent.
Rondell Bothroyd went to the Bills. Isaiah Cole the Colts. McGuire went to the Chiefs. Rom should have stayed this year. He went to the Cardinals. Or Carolina, I'm sorry. Yeah, and Stoops with the Rams. Now, drafted, obviously, was Guyton, first round. Walter Rouse, 6th round. Jonah Lalua, 7th round to the Colts. So, but anyway, let's break down a little bit. Sean, why don't you pull up NFL? Just go to the NFL draft grades. That's they've listed it.
You know what? I also saw that this Torrey Taylor, the punter for Iowa, was a steal for the Bears.
I wouldn't draft a punter in the 4th round. That's just me. I wouldn't draft anyone. I wouldn't draft anyone that kicks the ball in any of the draft.
They didn't have anything. So that 5th round pick that they got with Austin Booker from Kansas, they traded with Minnesota to get that.
Well, that's fine. I thought it was.
No, but this Torrey Taylor
punter in the 4th
really,
round. I'm sure he is,
good.
but I
not
mean,
punt god.
No, but I mean, he had a lot of practice. He's probably wore out at being in Iowa punting.
Well, with the terrible offense that they had.
That's what I was going to say. His legs probably wore out. It's like a pitcher that pitched an over in.
No, you got to get strong. You get stronger the more you kick. Yeah.
All right,
your arms wear out. Your legs get stronger.
It's
not like them girls with the big old muscle
draft in the grades for them, and we'll talk a little bit about each team, and it should come up alphabetical order.
Was I going to a specific place?
Yeah, NFL.com 2024 NFL.com.
Oh, you wanted NFL.com.
Yeah, pull that up, and we'll talk a little bit about. Because I mean, I'm not gonna. I agreed with some of the grades. I thought the best ones was Tampa, Pittsburgh, the Ravens, and Arizona. I wasn't real sure on until I'm looking, and they really had a good draft too. I didn't pay that close attention to them.
Well, see, that was another reason why I was surprised that Drake Stoops didn't go to.
Bills was
Arizona.
A weird draft. I thought that they addressed some needs. The trading down was odd. People bitched about that.
Oh, trade down.
And then they got Cam Coleman. They still got the wide receiver, but I thought Ladd McConkey was actually could be better than he was, and he went right behind him in the draft.
Old Ladd McConkey.
Is it Ladd? Ladd. Go to news. Should be in the. There we go. Should be the. Go up to the news.
Final draft grades? Is this what you want?
I think that's it. Yep. Quick snap draft grades.
Okay.
Yep. Here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the all 32 team.
We'll give a quick rundown of some things that we thought that we'd like because we had. We got to do the first round. We got to do the first round, and now
the first round together. But then I had to go to work.
Yeah. So we got Arizona.
Turn this off.
Arizona. Obviously, they had a good draft because Marvin Harrison, I thought, was, like I said, the generational guy. Darius Robinson from Missouri is a good defensive tackle. He is. And then you've got they took some offensive line, some defensive backs. I mean, they had to work on their offense line, and they had to work on their defensive back. I mean, that was one of the weakness that they had was defense, because they lost a lot of people and then a lot left. So I thought overall draft. Then you got the Falcons. We talked about already. It was, I mean, Penix at 8's odd. Could be one of the best draft.
I told you that was what dropped there because they took him so early.
Jace McClellan, running back, he was okay.
Yeah, but you didn't need a running back. Who's your running back? Then they got
two.
They've
got two.
Oh yeah,
they've got
Robinson and
Algiers. Yeah, odd. It was very odd there. I thought it was a shit pick or a shit draft for them actually. And I'm not saying Penix.
They should have went all O line.
I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking D line. D obviously yeah. And I'm not saying Penix is a bad pick. I just thought them picking them where they did was just very odd.
What did they say about this Kirk Cousins
All right.
thing?
Obviously, the Ravens.
Perplexing.
Obviously took defensive back Nate Wiggins. He had the fastest 40 time. As far
Kenny
as
loves his 40 times, ladies.
Then you've got they did take.
Trust me, lady. They took TJ Tampa.
Yeah, they did take TJ Tampa.
What round did he?
He went into the 130th. That'd be about the fourth. Anyway. Devin Leary was an interesting pick. He's actually a really good quarterback.
I heard
from
a
Kentucky.
lot of good about him because he had transferred in from.
Remember.
What was his transfer? He had transferred from an East Coast school. It was a smaller school, wasn't it?
I have no idea, dude. I can't.
Was he in? Was he like a Temple or a D3?
He
school?
wasn't. No, was he a North Carolina State guy? I could be wrong. I'm not even gonna guess. You can look him up. We'll talk as you look him up. Obviously, they drafted some tackle, Dantes, the wide receiver, Devontae Walker.
I love everybody got a Wikipedia. We need a Wikipedia. How?
Yeah, he was NC State. That's right. Yep, there we go.
Okay, NC State.
I was right. Look at me go.
Yeah, comes over from NC State. I thought he went to a smaller.
Bills traded down to get Coleman, got some extra picks. You know, they traded down twice. One of them wasn't even good. I mean, if Xavier Worthy turns out to be a superstar for the Chiefs, the Bills fans are going to hate that forever.
Keenan Coleman at the beginning of the second round, steal for that. Him still being, he had good hands, and I watched.
Well,
no, games.
Hey, listen, it's all.
I really liked Coleman.
It's going to all be about Coleman versus Worthy.
Wide receiver.
No, it's going to be Coleman versus Worthy. That's the comparison that you're going to see now because of the. You're going to see that because of why they made that trade. Georgia center 141 Cedric. He's actually pretty good. They addressed some offensive line and they tried to get some D-back help. Panthers, I thought Xavier Leggett, they traded up to get him. I thought that was great. First running back off the board was Jonathan Brooks.
Damn it.
I'm not totally sold on him, but it's probably better than what they got. And that was just one.
You remember what I was talking about, when they're drafting D-line.
Now, Leggett could have stayed, but I like
remember when I was talking about drafting D-line, and so here's Delorius fits the mold of Atlanta's D. He should be able to play a 5-tech or a 3-tech. I told you that, that's why it was broken down in our paperwork.
Oh, gotcha.
That way, because, you've got to look for what your defense is running.
Well,
for those D-line guys.
And they probably need to be looking at more defense in your free agents when they bring them in to see if they can stick.
Oh, I know. It was Sam Hartman. He went somewhere.
We'll talk about him. He'll come up. How about that? We'll talk a little bit. Sean, you want to give your rundown on he went to Washington, actually. Big money.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Washington.
They'll be towards the end since we're in alphabetical order. So the Bears, I thought had a great draft, minus the punter. Thought that was odd.
I thought the Bears had a great draft minus the quarterback.
It's what they had to take. And it just is. It is.
And I'm going to take Shadur Sanders next season.
And I don't think that it's going to be a bad necessarily pick. I just don't.
This it was the Yells offensive tackle getting him late because you really don't think about the rich kid schools, the intelligence schools.
You definitely want to pick those off O-line and D-line.
Remember
guys.
Ryan Fitzpatrick? I think he went 6th, 7th round.
Yeah, he was at Harvard, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a Harvard quarterback, but he went late. He was 6th, 7th round, and he's still the quarterback that they kind of go to like, hey, for a while there, it was, hey, can you come here? We need you over here. We need your help.
Exactly.
I think he did get screwed over as a starter whenever he came in. But Austin Booker, DN, we saw him play.
I didn't think that was a bad pick.
Not bad, especially in 5th round.
Just didn't like the punter. I just didn't.
I don't know why. He's a really good punter.
It is. It just seems early.
You just don't like people who use their legs.
Cincy? Cincinnati. I mean,
did they attack anything they needed?
Well, they needed O-line help, obviously. I thought they could have picked better. The interesting thing about Mims that he's only had 8 starts at Georgia. Now,
you take that and you take Matt Lee out of Miami. That is your 2 offensive line guys that you take.
I like the Chris Jenkins pick.
And you needed more.
I like the Chris Jenkins pick.
No, I'm not going to say anything about that. But what I'm saying is you needed more offensive line. And you end up with 2 tight ends, a D end, a D tackle, 2 defensive backs, nose tackle. What are you going here, Taylor? What you got? You need offensive line help.
Well, they needed defensive back help though too.
Defensive, but I'm saying they took a lot of defensive line.
Well, they needed that too.
But they need more offensive
line. Because Hendrickson's always wanting a trade. You saw that, right?
Everybody wants traded.
Well, no, maybe that just came out after the draft or right before the draft. So I'm like, dang, why is he? It's odd that he's wanting.
I don't know. These players all do this. They get upset. Joe Burrow needs to restructure his contract to help keep guys in his system, like Patty Mahomes has been doing. I saw that Travis Kelce just got a huge
that on
contract.
My notes to talk about that too. All right, the Browns. I thought the Hall pick was
meh.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he's number 54, so I don't think they didn't have a first-round pick, obviously, because they're giving it away.
The Deshaun Watson paying off.
Yeah, exactly.
Woo!
But I thought Michael Hall, and I also thought the guard Zinner was actually a good pickup.
Jeremiah Thrash is was a good late pickup.
All right, let's talk about the Cowboys. Obviously, drafted down. To get Tyler Guyton, one of the best tackles.
What do we do with Dallas?
No, I thought Dallas had one of the best drafts, too. I really did. You look at Guyton, and Nealand is going to be a project
Who's
that
your
could be
running back?
potential. But Cooper Beebe, I love.
Cooper
Beebe, I love. I love the two. I love the 2 line play.
Where's your running back need?
And then Flournoy can be really good. Obviously, Southeast Missouri got some connection. It's local, so you're going to be looking
across
at that.
The street,
and then
across the border.
and then anybody that plays defense generally at Auburn's got
Here
some
is
talent.
the deal.
You know what I mean?
Who's your running back?
Ezekiel Elliott. They signed him today.
They did. They finally. I saw that they were chit chatting again. Yeah, but that doesn't fix your running back need.
No, but they fixed the line play, and that'll open up holes. You know that as well as I do.
Oh God!
Some of the
We're
best.
We're gonna have to deal with Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, I mean, okay, so you look at
seeing his belly button and saying, "Feed me."
And I've agreed with this that Swift, the you guys picked up Swift, 3 years, right? 24 million.
DeAndre Swift, yeah.
So, but he played behind one of the best offensive lines at Philadelphia. Will he succeed at the Bears when their offensive line isn't good?
Well, that
makes you look
better.
That's
going to depend on.
It wasn't Montgomery that played with the Eagles the year before that went to the Detroit that I can't. Are you sure? The Montgomery guy.
Montgomery played with the Bears and then went to Detroit.
Okay. Who was the other Eagles running back that has left and went to another team? There's another one.
It was.
And it wasn't last year. It was the year before.
Wasn't it Swift?
No, Swift is there now. Swift played last year. He's at the Bears this year. There was one.
But that's what I'm saying. He went. Didn't he go from Detroit to?
It doesn't matter.
Philly?
Maybe, but I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about there was a. You watch those running backs that go from a badass offensive line, then they go somewhere else, and they don't succeed as well because the offensive line is so good.
Well, we saw that with OU's running back coach.
Yes, Murray.
Murray went from
Tennessee,
Dallas
to Tennessee, struggled.
Tennessee, and then to Philly, and never regained what he had when he was in Dallas.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We'll talk about Denver. Obviously, I've made my prediction that Bo Nix is going to go down as one of the worst draft picks in history.
Caleb Williams?
No.
First round bust?
I like the Troy Franklin pick. He's little. There's some issues there. But to get him that at 102, I thought was a good pickup.
Kenny and his tiny people.
I know I do.
Hates tiny people.
I think no, but he's
If
skinny.
you're a
no,
tiny people,
no, I'm not
Kenny
just
hates
talking.
you.
No, I'm not talking height. He's little, like 160 pounds or something.
Kenny does not like you. He likes them big.
Anyway, I thought the Knicks deal.
Kenny like them big.
Don't lie to me and tell me you got your guy. Stop when you were trying to trade up.
We got a Dunze.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you're talking about Knicks? You're talking
about Knicks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about. I don't see any like real standout there. It might be.
Well, they're all going to be surprises, because some of those 5th, 6th rounders are.
Well, Jonah Ellis might be their best pickup.
I think Franklin
out of Utah.
I think Franklin will be their best pickup, to be honest.
You think Franklin will?
Him and Mims, I could see him running maybe a slot type.
So you have two tiny guys out there as your receivers. Two undersized. Speedy undersized. All right.
Have to have a quarterback throw to.
Detroit didn't really need anything.
Well, they needed defense, and they all went defensive back. Defensive back.
They grabbed Arnold and they grabbed Breckenstraw Jr. But I don't think they really needed much. I mean, they
traded up to get Arnold, so I think that was a hell of a
They took
pick.
the gamble on the British Columbia on the on the CFL guy.
Yeah. Then Sione Vaki, he's a gamer, can play.
Vaki
and then
played really
they
well,
took
but
another.
Vaki
They
had
took
fallen.
another guard late. I think
Vaki fell because of Cam not being the starting quarterback for Utah this season.
He's gonna have to make it though. That's the problem.
No, I'm saying Vaki. I think Vaki's draft stock fell because
Cam, but they traded up to get him. Though.
I know because but 132. You're not looking at like.
Well, they jumped 32 spots to get him.
Okay, well.
Which is a 4th round, so he's got to make the team. He cannot suck. All right, let's move on.
Hold on, I got something in my hand.
Got to move on to the Packers.
Oh my God, that first pick! Oh, did you see that kid's face? Oh, that's right, we're watching together.
It was a surprise.
Little Jordan Morgan, Arizona offensive tackle. Not saying the guy's horrible, but still a very surprising pick there for. And they took Michael Pratt. They did take Michael Pratt out of Tulane as a quarterback.
But I did think they addressed. Yeah, they did. But I think they addressed some offensive line needs. They took two tackles and a center. So I think they addressed that because that was a weakness. But you have to remember, as much as that they want to.
I think they're
a young team already.
I know.
I mean, they're a
young
team
already. And
I think
they might rely a little more heavily on Marshawn Lloyd than they probably should.
It's possible.
I can't speak for how he's going to do in the NFL coming off that Snaky Riley team. And then we got Houston Texans that really didn't need much.
They didn't have a 1st-round pick.
You've got Tank Dell getting shot by a teenager.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of random, wasn't it?
What, you get shot by a teenager?
No, I think it was just accidental. He didn't shoot him directly. I thought he was friendly fire type shit. I thought he was a guy that just got caught by a bullet by somebody else.
Yeah, I don't want my players hanging out with teenagers.
I think it was in a club. And they club. I mean,
they club.
And teenagers sneaking.
That's our new T-shirt. They club.
Could be.
Sports allegedly. They club.
Yeah, they club. I like that. Sports they club. No, I think they've done everything pretty right. I think Laster's a good defensive back. Obviously, anybody from Georgia, you get an offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Generally, the stock is really good there. I don't know. I like Solomon Byrd. I know the defense for USC is not weak, but he actually shown some highlights.
Where did he come from? Solomon Byrd.
And then they took another lineman. I mean, I don't think was there any lineman left from Michigan because I think everybody was taking. Was getting in on them.
And it's surprising that it was. You'd figure, it might be a Texas lineman going.
Wyoming is where he went to. So yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I knew he was a transfer. And I thought he played pretty well.
But still, your draft stock falls when you go play for a team that goes from losing 2 games to.
All right, let's move on.
Move
on quickly. I thought the Colts had another good draft.
Latu.
Yeah, that was the first defensive player pick.
I want to say that Adonai Mitchell is probably the better Texas wide receiver.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Not as fast, but I think he's better.
Kansas City, you're still going to be dealing with drops. Patrick Mahomes is going to have probably still win the Super Bowl, but still have.
And then they got Jonah Louis from Oklahoma, who's obviously. one of the better defensive tackles that's going to show up. And generally, OU tends to put some lower grade defensive
Guys
tackles
later,
that will play.
Yeah, that end up lasting. All right, Jacksonville, Kenny's favorite team because Jody Foster's our quarterback.
I like their first round pick. I thought it was.
I'm not against it.
Thought that
I'm not against it.
I thought they traded down, I believe, and then still got him. I thought that was one of the best moves. Got a nose tackle in Jordan Jefferson, which
here's your Javon Foster out of Missouri,
which I like. They took
114.
They took a kicker late. Not that he's anything great.
Oh, there's Kenny in them legs.
But I like the.
You think Miles Cole might be a steal out of Texas Tech?
Yeah, that is also possible.
Do you think he might be a laster?
I think
the guy that makes a team that
I thought
you don't
Foster
expect.
was good. I think Foster and Jefferson. I think that's going to be the two guys you're going to look at and see.
Two Jordan Jeffersons.
And see if they can and from LSU. So yes.
All right. Now we run out of Kansas City Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, you blew that.
If he turns out like what they anticipate, and I thought Kingsley Su'Matoa,
they did go fast.
From BYU,
they did.
And
I gotta say, Kansas City's trying to go faster offense.
I thought they had one of the better drafts too, and I love Kingsley Su'Matoa. I like him. He was one of the higher rated. He was one of the higher rated offensive line that dropped
that's fine.
a little bit.
Offensive linebacker from Penn State.
Yeah. Offensive linebacker.
Suck it, Zach.
And I don't know about the Holy Cross off the lines. Really don't know anything about
Holy
him.
Cross is D2.
That's correct. So
all right, L.A., Oakland, Vegas Raiders.
They were graded very low. Because of that. But I love Brock Bowers. I also love the Jackson Powers Johnson. They got him. He's a first-round guy as a center.
Yeah.
They got him late. They got him in the second round. I think what people are judging them about, though, is because of they took Brock Bowers and already had Meyer, like we talked about.
Team swerve when they were just like, hey, just take this guy.
But the Trey Taylor, I think he was the I think he's going to be a star. I think that's who that defensive back. Did he win the Conference USA Player of the Year? Can you click on that?
Maybe.
And see if he was one of those surprise team. And I don't know if it's Conference USA.
Well, this is the last
year. Mountain West or what are they? What were they in? Conference USA or Mountain West?
Mountain West. So this is the last season that any of the armed services can be drafted. They're going to go back to the you have your commitment and service.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yep.
Before we start talking.
No, it's they're going back. This is the last year.
Hey, Detroit, how you guys doing?
Oh,
how
God.
You doing?
What?
It's right there.
So I'm here to announce the pick with the 220.
I don't know what he wants to hear that. So, are you looking for?
No, I want to see if he was he's got anything on his
Here we go. 2023.
Yes, won the Jim Thorpe best nation's top defensive back.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I thought that was a hell of a pick, and I think and they got him at pick 223. Reason why they didn't pick him is because he played at Air Force. Let's stop this, people. Those are one of the sharpest, toughest people. I thought that was the best pick, and I think the Raiders are graded way too low for that. So
all right, here we go with the Los Angeles Chargers.
they did well.
Little lad McConkey. Well, you got us so much because he.
I think they did well because you look at what they done. If you look at all those picks, you talk about flash and tough.
Here's my favorite, Brendan Rice going 6th round. Is that what it was?
Yep.
Because everybody talked him up. He was apparently supposed to be a first, second round guy, and because he was Jerry Rice's son.
No, I understand that. I mean, he was loved higher. I understand.
Oh, he was definitely way higher than he should have been. But, you know. All right, LA Rams.
Good draft pick.
Very good.
We
Like I said, they
needed that with Darnold retired.
Yeah, they have bookends from Florida State, and
I didn't like the
amazing.
Corum pick, and maybe he's going to turn into an all-star. I could be wrong.
I don't know why they took him high. They don't need him. They got Kyrene. I think they're just looking for a third down back. Because, like I said, Kyrene had 1,000 yards last season.
They got a good
Great
offensive.
for me.
Anybody that plays offensive line at Kansas State's usually pretty damn good and tough.
You grabbed Bo Latimer, the center out of Arkansas. I don't know how to
Limmer,
grade.
not Latimer.
I don't know how to. What?
Limmer.
Limmer, sorry.
He actually was.
I
Rated
don't.
pretty high.
The problem is I don't know how to rate that Arkansas team because they went with such high expectations and to come in and just fall flat as a team.
Bad on offense. That's why they made changes.
Do you
Bobby
blame the
Petrino's
quarterback or do you blame that
Well,
offensive
quarterback
line?
transferred. You know.
Well, they had that one guy who started. Oh, they also took a kicker, Kenny.
Do what?
They also took a kicker. You got to talk.
KJ
about.
went to UCF, I think.
Do you want to talk about that?
I think.
Do you want to talk about Stanford kicker? They took Stanford's kicker.
Yes, he's UCF. Yeah, they actually talked about them taking a kicker. He took him over.
That's. I want to hear you bitch about it.
No, I mean it is what it is. I mean you can waste your time with that. I mean people do that. They took him over Cam Little, who the Jags took a little bit earlier.
Hey, you know who didn't go in the draft?
Me.
The other Tagovailoa. Oh, well, nobody's drafted.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if he got picked up any free agent.
I haven't looked.
And I hadn't seen him.
I try.
All right, moving on
Try to.
as we get ready to close out our draft. But no, I actually. I thought the Dolphins. I like Chop Robinson, and the rest of them was about. Yeah, just. Now Jalen Wright, I think he had some. If I'm not mistaken, had some injuries. Not real sure if that.
I can't spell it.
If that was. We'll move on because I thought I like Chop Robinson. That was about it for the Dolphins. I think they're a team that's unless they get some starts out of that, they're going to be fading fast. All right, the Vikings. We'll move on to them.
Oh, Minnesota!
They traded one spot, got
their
their guy, because they feared everyone else was going to trade.
Dallas Turner
was a very good pickup.
Oh, look, they took a kicker too out of Alabama, which is weird.
Reichard.
When was the last time Alabama had a kicker?
Walter Rouse, they got late. OU offensive tackle, which I love that. And Texas A&M Commerce. All those guys are kind of interesting when you talk about them.
New England Patriots get ready for the Drake May era.
You know, and look what they done, though.
Joe Milton III in late.
Only one defensive player drafted. That's a definite change from the Bill Belichick days of before.
No, Bill Belichick drafted weird. We all know that.
He'd trade down and then draft someone from Pennsylvania University in the first round. It's like, are you trying to be cute?
Norwich
No,
State.
What he did is he tried to be cute and try to find these diamonds in a rough, and that's when you find in fourth or fifth rounds.
But that's what he did with Julian Edelman, and that was one of his weird late because he was a quarterback coming out of the draft.
So
they drafted him like 6th round.
We thought Lad McConkey might have went there, but they traded down. Hey, it's all about May, obviously. It's all about May in the draft.
I don't know how you get an A- when you draft Spencer Rattler.
Well, Fogwa, the offensive tackle, is probably one of the best. Kool-Aid McKinstry fell.
I'm not going against the top.
He's got some
picks.
issues, obviously.
I'm talking about your need of a wide receiver. So you grab Bud Means out of Pittsburgh. You get Spencer
but Spencer Rattler's
Rattler.
he's going to have to compete against Jake Hayner. I mean, come on now. I mean, it is what it is.
Didn't Jake Hayner go to school with us?
No.
Oh, that was the other Hayner.
That was another Hayner. All right, moving on to the Giants.
Did not take care of that quarterback need.
Do you think that was kind of all smoke that they were playing, unless they fell? I mean, rumor has it they tried to trade up, but they got their guys anyway in the league.
I don't know. I cannot. I don't know what's happening.
But what they did is they addressed it obviously addressed a star that they need at wide receiver, and then they
ghosts.
and they addressed some secondary issues.
And it gets winded.
Yeah, which is going to be horrible. Then we move on to the Jets. Obviously, they dressed everything they needed, and that was
good, which is good. And they got Jordan Travis. Hopefully, he can learn from.
Malachi Corley is one of those guys you take at 65. That
hopefully,
is he a star?
Well, hopefully he can learn from Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Travis can learn from Aaron Rodgers.
And then they took a couple defensive backs because that's also been their weakness.
This Braylon Allen might be a sleeper as well.
Yes, he actually played really good. The running back from I agree with that.
And
they run and pound the ball. I mean that's the deal, Stiggers. And that's what they Stiggers.
Dude, that's my people word.
Yeah. So moving on to
where did Quintons come from?
Moving on from to the Eagles, who once again, if you hate the Eagles, and I don't really like them, they draft.
Is it the team or is it?
No, they just draft like some of the best. I mean, they really do draft. They have such good drafts.
God,
I mean, Quinion Mitchell, we talked about going. I screamed his name more and more earlier in the deal, and he fell clear to 22nd. And then Cooper DeJean, he was also first-round grade material, the safety from Iowa, and he dropped to them. Running back Will Shipley as possible fill-in. They traded up to
Okay,
get...
so he was the one. He was also in Canadian football. Stiggers was.
Okay, they drafted Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Obviously, he was a former player for
Oh,
Pitts.
that's Trotter's. Yeah,
Yeah,
Trotter
his son.
actually called
His son,
the
yes.
owner and said, "Thank you for taking my son."
Yes.
So, his dad's going to be on his ass. That's his name.
But I'm telling you, the two Pennsylvania teams had some of the best drafts, Pittsburgh and
Well, no, and Philly picking up Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson wasn't bad. Johnny Wilson was a good wide receiver, and he could be your wide receiver number 3.
3. Yes, that's possible.
I'm just saying, but he could be your wide receiver number 3 coming in.
So Pittsburgh, as we move down,
Woo!
Pittsburgh, I thought had one of the best drafts, to be honest, because they addressed the need of. And I thought Fontenot, we talked about that, was one of the best tackles.
Did they get their quarterback?
They have 2.
that's
Fontenot, and then Zach Frazier will be the best pickup in this draft. I promise you. Got him late, 51, center from
You
West
said
Virginia.
that about 5 guys.
No. I mean, he's one of the that late. I'm talking about that late offensive line. He's the number 1 that late. I promise. Fontenot, I thought, was one of the best early.
All right, let's move on to the Brock Purdy-led 49ers.
No, let's do.
Let's do Ricky Pearsall. I don't
I thought
know.
it was a
I
stretch.
don't know. Yeah,
Talented, but a stretch.
I would say that too. Like I said, Johnny Wilson and Coleman, I believe, were better wide receivers than Pearsall
Possible.
from that Florida State team. Oh no, Pearsall was on Florida.
Florida, yes,
But I think that those two were still better than Pearsall.
probably.
And then you just pick randomly. Is what you took Pooney out of Kansas. I know you're trying to get a guy to come in and help Trent Williams because Trent Williams is aging.
Well, he's a guard though, not a tackle.
I'm saying they got
You
Jared
see line,
Kingston,
yeah.
but you need offensive line and you need.
Well, the Isaac Gurandendo, he was the second he was the backup running back. He had less carries than the starting running back.
Exactly.
And
So,
think,
like I said, you just pick random.
and I can't remember. I'm gonna have to go back. And look.
Shanahan's over there just spinning a wheel.
Keep talking. I want to
Take that guy.
No, I want to find the. You
Take
keep
that.
talking. I want to find Louisville's
Oh, you
starting
don't
quarterback. I thought he.
Quarterback
he-
or running
no,
back?
running back. He fell, and I
Didn't
thought
we
it was.
just see him?
I
Oh,
thought,
right. No,
I
that's
thought
good.
he had. Because the 49ers took the backup,
Oh, ow, my hands! I'm hitting everything.
but I couldn't.
Oh,
I
I'm
couldn't
hitting
remember.
the wrong thing.
I couldn't remember who took him because he fell, and there were some issues with him.
Whoa! Is that a door opening?
There were some issues there with him.
Louisville starting RB.
Yeah, I cannot find him. There was
23.
Oh, Jamar Jordan, yeah, 205.
Oh, it's right there. Jamar
Houston,
Jordan.
Houston, yes.
Ha!
So they took him at 205.
Got him.
Took him at 205, and then
And they took the backup
they
at
took the backup at
129.
129.
So
I
what
thought
is
that was, I don't know.
something's?
I don't know. Something's going on.
Like I said, Shanahan's just spinning the wheel. Take that guy.
When you move to the Seattle, as we get ready to wind down, I thought obviously if Byron Murphy works out to
You
be
know,
that
you've said it
tackle,
like 5 times.
well, we're getting
It's
ready to
about
wind
to
down.
end.
Yeah.
Get ready to wind
Well,
down.
we're at S. We're at the S's.
You're just
I
giving
thought-
everybody hope.
I thought they addressed a lot of their offensive line needs. Obviously, they needed that. Byron Murphy is a defensive
Who's your backup quarterback? You sticking with Drew Lock?
guy. Yes. No, it's Sam Howell.
Oh, that's right, Sam
Yeah,
Howell.
Sam
Where'd
Howell.
Drew Lock go?
I have no idea.
Nehemiah Pritchard out of Auburn did not have a bad career, did he? Wouldn't he?
Well, obviously they.
Oh God! Oh, we're almost into Tampa.
Oh, I think we got hosed for a B.
You took Graham Barton.
Yes, great.
Okay.
I thought one of the best.
You didn't take C.J. Tampa.
No.
You didn't take any D-back.
Chris. Yeah, we did. We took Tyreek Smith.
Oh, Tyreek
from
Smith.
Georgia. Hell of a pick. I thought the Chris Braswell is going to be the best one out of them all. Now, Jalen McMillan, he was the third guy on Washington, slot guy. Could catch any ball, just didn't get a lot. And then Bucky Irving is going to be the surprise guy. He'll probably be the starting back or the backup receiver to White. The only thing I didn't like is Elijah Klein, which he's an offensive guy. He can move around. And then the Washington tight end Culp. I don't really remember much.
You guys have to understand when Kenny talks about Tampa Bay, every player is a superstar.
I don't remember about Culp, so I cannot judge him at all.
Every player's a superstar.
Because I don't remember them using the tight
until
end.
they
much.
leave, and then he was like, "Yeah, he wasn't that good."
No, not
When
at
the
all.
player leaves, He wasn't that good.
We'll have that work
But
out
then
for
when he-
Jameis Winston.
but then
Never
when-
said he was an all-star, and when he left, I was
But then
thankful.
but then when he comes back, he's like, "Oh, so glad we got that guy back." Kenny's evaluation system for Tampa Bay is.
No, I thought they had. I thought
I
they
don't
had one of the
understand
better.
it.
I thought they had one of the better drafts. I really did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I really did.
Even though they got an A, B, C plus.
Well, I think later. I don't know about the Colt guy. I really don't. And
know,
Elijah
dude.
Klein is just. He's kind of.
I know that you were banking on
Yeah,
Bowers.
yeah. No, I didn't think he'd fall that far. And
You
he
wanted
didn't.
that sweet
he
Bowers.
Didn't. He didn't.
Tennessee.
They took an offensive tackle, which they obviously needed, and they needed a defensive guy. They'll put them next to Simmons. So Sweat, now I think a little early because I do think that Sweat's a little heavy for the NFL.
You're about
You know
to
what I
see
mean?
Sweat you're about to see Sweat go out of the NFL.
That's a possibility. Jaquan Jackson for Tulane I thought was actually a pretty good pickup because they need bodies. And then they took some linebacker help. So obviously they addressed, they addressed the defense for the most part, even though that team was kind of defensive minded. Now you look at Callahan being the coach, they're going to be offensive minded. That's going to be their strength.
All right.
So they took that.
We're in
on.
Washington now. We're in Washington.
The Northeast had the best draft. Pittsburgh,
They did.
Philadelphia,
Washington took the best quarterback in the draft.
I agree. And they got Newton to fall.
And I know.
Huge.
I know. How does that happen?
I
almost said Stetson Bennett.
one of the
It's
best-
Ben Sinnott.
one of the best tight ends not named Brock Bowers is Sanoit and from
Sanoit.
Kansas State. And then Brandon Coleman,
I hate watching that guy
he
play.
was actually good. Luke McCaffrey was a little bit of stretch, but he's got genes that would probably work. And then John Baptiste, that's a stretch, but it could work out. You pick him 222,
Really good.
no big deal. He's
Really good.
actually good.
Plus he's got a cool
I thought
head.
I thought they had one of the best.
Plus, if he can't do that, he can go be a Pirate.
if I had to rate it all, I would say Steelers 1,
If
Commanders
Javante Jean Baptiste can't work out, he'll just go be a Pirate.
and then the Eagles,
That's a pirate
Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, right in there.
You could go be a Pirate.
Top
You're not
10,
even-
Tampa. I like Chicago's also too. So
You're gonna get.
we'll rank them next. We can put our final rankings.
I'm not ranking it. That's it.
All right, that's the draft over it. Lots of fun over the weekend. Thank you all for joining us. Next week we'll talk a lot. Can you give us a quick update before we leave on basketball scores?
Yeah.
Should
let me
have
go
two
ahead
going
and,
on right now.
Pop it off over
one's
here.
bullshit on NBA TV for some reason. Our local team.
Oh, okay.
Now the Celtics game should be over with.
Your internet lets me.
No way, you got to punch in the right stuff. You know
I'm
what I mean?
hitting the right thing. Pronzingus left. Suffered a calf injury.
Porzingis. And
Pronzingus left.
Nice.
You fucking ever.
Didn't forget.
Ever.
Forgot to talk about. Yes, you mentioned Chiefs. Kelsey makes him the highest paid tight end. 2 more years of him. I bet you only plays 1 more. That's my prediction.
Oh, righty. We are 158. Boston Heat. Boston's up 97 to 81.
This game's over. That'll make 3-1.
You know, that's what I
series.
look like when I do my facial
Yeah,
hair that way.
3-1, and then you go to the
Wait, where did
Thunder.
Hero get hair?
The Thunder, and it's at halftime. Thunder up by 1. So tight one. All right.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
thank you.
Well, it's tight right now.
Thank you all for joining us.
Quick White Sox score. It's 2-2, bottom of the 8th.
No one cares. We'll see you. We moved to Mondays. We'll see you next Monday on
Well, yeah,
YouTube,
we're Mondays.
Twitch, Sticks, whatever it's
We're
called.
not doing Facebook anymore.
not
I
Facebook right
uploaded
now.
to Facebook.
Okay, so all right, we appreciate. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week. A lot of NBA and college stuff as we move on next week. So thanks for joining us. Bye.
Oh, wait. No, I thought you were going to